Have you ever wondered why life often feels like a never-ending wheel, constantly turning, sometimes lifting us high only to drop us low again? Let's dive into a journey that perfectly illustrates this analogy. A story of resilience, overcoming adversity, and learning valuable lessons. Picture a young boy growing up in a world that seems to be against him. He wakes up each day to the cold reality of life, shivering under the weight of the world that's far too heavy for his tender shoulders. His mornings start not with a cup of warm milk and honey but with a bitter taste of isolation. His wide innocent eyes that should be filled with dreams and curiosity, carry instead a jaded look of someone who's seen too much too soon. The boy's home isn't a haven of love and comfort, but an arena where he is forced to battle every day. It's a place where kindness and understanding are rare commodities, and animosity is a frequent uninvited guest. His tiny room, scantily with worn-out toys and hand-me-down books, echoes with the ghostly whispers of contempt. Though it's there where he should feel safe, it's there where his nightmares come alive. His friends, or those he believed were his friends, were the wolves in sheep's clothing. They feigned camaraderie only to reveal their true colors when he was most vulnerable. Their cruel, scornful laughter rang in his ears, a haunting symphony of mockery and disdain that followed him wherever he went. Relatives, the ones who should have been his sanctuary in the storm, instead became the storm. They held expectations, not hands, handed out taunts, not encouragement. Their words, sharper than knives, cut him deep, their negative energy suffocating, threatening to drown him in an ocean of self-doubt and insecurity. School, the place meant to be a nurturing ground for a child's development, became his personal battlefield. The hallways were trenches, the classrooms the front lines. His teachers, his supposed guides, were more like uninterested spectators, choosing not to intervene while he was torn apart by the vicious words of his classmates. This incessant barrage of negativity seeped into every crevice of his being, staining his soul with a darkness that was almost palpable. The smiles he used to wear so freely were now lost, replaced by a vacant stare that spoke volumes of his internal war. Each hurtful comment, every malicious action left deep-seated scars, invisible to the naked eye, reality for his fragile heart. He was resilient though. He learned to wear his pain like armor, to hide his vulnerabilities behind a mask of stoic indifference. Yet within the confines of his heart, a transformation was taking place. It was like a seed being planted in the fertile ground. A seed of hatred that began to sprout roots, digging deep into his spirit. A seed that was watered by every tear he shed, every sleepless night he spent contemplating his worthlessness. The hatred began as a tiny speck, an insignificant blot on his otherwise pure soul. But with each passing day it expanded, growing like a malignant tumor. Each act of cruelty, each word of insult, each display of indifference fed this growing beast. It spread its tendrils, wrapping itself around his heart, threatening to squeeze the life out of him. This constant affliction, this daily struggle slowly transformed him. Each insult thrown his way began to sound like a battle cry, each derogatory comment a challenge to his existence. He gradually became unrecognizable, replaced by a stranger who found solace in his solitude, who drew strength from his own pain. Unbeknownst to him, a seed of hatred started to take root within his heart. It began to grow, consuming him from the inside, replacing the innocence and joy that once resided there. This seed of hatred was not just a result of his unfortunate circumstances, but rather a testament to his undying resilience, a painful reminder of his trials and tribulations. It was a testament of his survival in a world that seemed to be against him. Yet this young boy was not destined to be a victim. He made a promise to himself. He vowed to rise above the torment, to overcome the adversity, and to topple those who sought to bring him down. He committed to work hard, to strive for success, to transform his pain into power. And succeed he did. With relentless determination and unwavering resilience, he climbed the wheel of life, leaving his tormentors far behind. He tasted the sweet nectar of success, savored the feeling of triumph, reveled in the satisfaction of proving his detractors wrong. But as the wheel of life continued to turn, he found himself standing at the precipice of a different challenge. Greed, like a silent and insidious fog, crept into his heart. The very success that he had fought so hard for became his undoing. He lost everything he had worked for, and once again found himself at the bottom of the wheel, staring up at the daunting climb. But remember, this is a story of resilience. Our protagonist, though battered and bruised, was far from beaten. He dusted off the ashes of his defeat, looked up at the daunting task ahead, and once again began his ascent. He knew the journey would be hard, yet he was ready to face it. He understood that he had fallen, but he also knew that he could rise again. In the face of adversity, he learned a powerful lesson, a proverb that became his guiding light. The righteous fall 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. He realized that it's not about how many times we fall, but how many times we get back up. Our protagonist's journey is a stark reminder that life is indeed like a wheel, constantly turning, sometimes lifting us high and sometimes dropping us low. His story teaches us that it's not the fall that defines us, but our ability to rise again, to face adversity and overcome it. It reminds us to never lose hope, to never be disheartened, to always keep striving. In the end, it's not about never falling, but about always getting back up. It's about resilience, about overcoming adversity, about learning and growing from our experiences. So remember, no matter how far you fall, you can always rise again. After all, life is like a wheel, constantly turning, and with every turn there's an opportunity to rise.